The following video was pre-recorded on twitch.tv/codedman9000. More information on the stream times at the end of the video. Previously on Stone to Space.
For the start of Chapter 3, we went to Kerbal Space Program to learn how to make rockets so that we could explore the stars for a new home. We began playing on career mode while not knowing anything about what we were doing. After doing some research off-stream, we then moved to the science mode with newfound knowledge. We went to both moons, created communication networks, planes, science missions, a space station, and then ended the game by traveling all the way to Duna in the Antari ship.
After arriving at Duna, our ship the Antares fell apart, causing us to land on Duna and mine its resources so that we could fix the Antari ship. We unlocked various buildings, and also different types of science. After fixing everything but scanners on the ship, we then left the planet behind us as we continued to travel in space. Partially during our space flight, we landed on an asteroid. Over the course of a few hundred cycles, we had mined out the asteroid, converting its resources into various things that we needed in order to keep 24 dupes alive. We made a lot of automated machines to take, cool, or convert items into other items. We then turned on a machine that would allow us to take a dive into the dreams of one of our dupes. After our first dupe dream in Vintage Story, we came back to Oxygen Not Included. We then used our rockets to go to different asteroids. We went to a water-filled asteroid, a lava-filled asteroid, and we also went to a frozen asteroid to get our final crop. After going back and forth multiple times from the water and lava asteroids, we made our last and final endgame materials. While doing this, we also finished upgrading our main base, and also found both the Temporal Tear opener and the Temporal Tear. After our second dupe dream in Timberborn, we came back to Oxygen Not Included again. We spent a while trying to get enough radiation to use the Temporal Tear opener the wrong way, before ending up using Weaselworts. We spent time digging out more of the second asteroid, before finally using the Temporal Tear opener and sending our first rocket of 4 dupes through the Temporal Tear. After our first rocket of 4 dupes went through the Temporal Tear, they ended up in an unexpected place. They found themselves on a frozen asteroid with new plants, crops, and 3 new critters. We spent time building a self-sustaining base and found out that if ranched correctly, each of the 3 critters fed into the next either by creating food for the next critter or food for the next critter's food source. We then radioed to our original colony to tell them where we ended up so that they could change the destination of the next rocket. Up next, we went back to our original colony to prepare and send a second rocket through the Temporal Tear. Once the next dupes came out of the Temporal Tear, they found themselves on a flooded asteroid. Through many cycles, they made a self-sustaining base and ranched the new crops and some of the new critters that they found. They then radioed back to the original colony to tell them where we ended up so that they could change the destination of the next rocket. Hello and welcome to a Twitch Plays Along series called Stone to Space. Today we're in Chapter 3, Space Travel. Today we are playing Oxygen Not Included. Shady Galactic Acres Paradise. We are going back to our main base. Normally we would have ended stream now, but I thought we were going to be streaming the Bionic Dupe DLC on Thursday. Instead, we finished it today. And what I have planned next is not going to take very long. So we're going to spend a little bit playing our main colony, sending our 4th and final rocket through the Temporal Tear. So here we are in our main colony. We have 14 of our original 24 dupes currently here. There may be a dupe crash landed on Siltano from our last rocket. Every time we send a dupe through the Temporal Tear, they end up, the pilot ends up over here. Looks like Joshua was the last one that died here. So we're going to go to Persephone, because what we're going to end up doing is we're going to take the 2 dupes that are stuck here, and we're going to send them to our main base, and they're going to forever stay there, because they were the 2 cryogenic people. So since Mima is the one that's currently awake, we're going to send Mima through. Now for those that don't know, the teleporter takes 5 days for it to recharge. So Mima is going to be here. Our rocket up here has enough fuel to get to the Temporal Tear. We're going to set its destination. We are going to select its crew and make sure that we have everyone but Mima. So we of course have Dupe, one of our original 5 dupes named Dupe. We have Slicky. We have another Dupe. Max the Goodest Boy, Cloud Cover, Abe, an unnamed Dupe, Amy from Earth, one of the original 12. I don't remember if it was any more than 12, but we have a third Dupe. We have Jackie Be Good _ Jugal, another Dupe, another Dupe, Einz Mod 32, another Dupe. I think we had all 5 dupes. And then Mima and Camille are the 2 that stay here. So they are a selected crew. I want to make sure that inside here is grounded. Okay, we do have almost everything supplied. We are filling up this with all the food that we can. This is so that all of our dupes can survive the trek all the way to the Temporal Tear. Dupe is best dupe, but Dupe is my least favorite. You know what? I think you might be onto something, Regus. Okay, so up next, we are going to wait 1 day, being the start of the next cycle, being that 1 day. I know it's less than a whole cycle, but that should give the teleporter about a cycle's worth of percentage recharge here. So I'm hoping that it'll go up to 20% or close to it by the time the next cycle starts. Because for those that may not remember, the distance from our main asteroid Rudado to the Temporal Tear is slightly more than 5 cycles. So what I'm trying to do is to send the rocket, do some cleanup on Persepolis. Like I'm just gonna have them maybe dig a few things if I had something to dig. I guess we could tell them to dig in here by themselves. Maybe clean up some of the water, some of these. We're gonna have them do random things. And while they're doing that, this is recharging further. Our rocket, Bold Uranus, the first rocket we ever built, is getting closer to the Temporal Tear. We're gonna have one of our dupes sleep on the floor. They're going to make the last dream journal, in a sense, even though you need to be here on the main asteroid with the somnium synthesizer to make a dream journal. That is going to lead us into our next game, which is our final side story of Oxygen Included. It's our final dream. When we go through the Temporal Tear, that leads us into the 4th chapter. So we're going to go from Oxygen Included into a side story. That side story is going to be the final game of chapter 3. When we're done that game, we go straight into chapter 4, which only has 2 games. So for our story, there is only 3 games left for us. And we're of course on the next cycle. So let me check the percentage. That's on 22%. I think we are ready to send this rocket out. Quick check of the crew, make sure that everyone but Mima is selected. Acknowledge the warnings. Of course, it's fueled. Has limited oxidizer because it does not make a round trip. Acknowledge warnings. Begin launch sequence. Calling all dupes. There are 2 suits here, so maybe one of our dupes is not going to make it to the rocket. Yeah, we do have 1 dupe stuck here. So we have to wait for who I think is Abe. Abe, I need somebody else to do this now. So that Abe can get into the rocket. Okay, Abe, I think you're eating a rad pill. Are you guys ready for the final rocket launch of Oxygen Included? Here we go. I may have miscounted something. Okay, here's the last person. And with that, we are on our way. Now we are going to be making a mess in here. Actually, they're going to be making a mess in their suits. They should have enough food to survive a 5-day trip. Because if we look at this, it's a 4.3 cycle trip. So we spent the one cycle waiting. And now we're making a 4-cycle trip, which should equal to just after the second dupe from the second asteroid gets to the first one. That will be going through the Temporal Tear. So now what we could do is create a small rocket here that we can go back and forth from one asteroid to the other. Of course, the autosaves take a while here. So while we're doing this, let's do our third and final prediction. We might as well keep doing predictions until we run out of blueprints. Are you guys excited for that? We currently have 10 points in tops. So let's see what we get with this one. And we got an Atmo helmet, so whoever did 10 points in tops, you're getting your points back. And let's immediately start the next prediction. Is the next blueprint going to give us tops, bottoms, buildings, decorations, or wallpaper? You have 10 minutes to decide starting now. And I think after this one, I'm going to start making them a little bit smaller. Let's do small petroleum engine. We're gonna need large fuel tank because there's no small fuel tank. Oh, wait, that's oxidizer. Never mind. Cancel that. We want this. Yes. Want that on top with this. And then on top of that, there's going to be one of these. And we can't build any of that because we need to make an Atmos suit go over here. And we also need to make 2 Atmos suits. Let's see if anyone is sleeping in the rocket. Well, we have one person. Dupe is sleeping, so Dupe is the one that's currently dreaming of our next side story. Now, this may seem cramped, but it's all going to make sense when we get into the 4th chapter. We will be looking back at this. Okay, so our Dupe did take the Atmos suit out. They are attempting to fill in stuff here. Apparently I didn't actually need this. I forgot. Go ahead and deconstruct that. Petroleum. to come down and go in there. I was muted. I don't know how long I was muted for. Anyway, we have been trying to make this rocket. I'm going to put this in here. I don't know why Camille and Mima aren't putting the atmosuits on here. Actually, they just did. Put the second one on. And our rocket is now at the Temporal Tear. We're going to do our next prediction. We have 1,000 points in bottoms. And it's another wallpaper, the digital cobalt. I'm stealing your points, but don't worry, we're gonna No, I was gonna say ricochet. We're gonna do some of these predictions in 30-second intervals. So the next 6 predictions, you guys have 30 seconds to put any amount of points in. Starting now. We're going to send the rocket through the Temporal Tear before we do those 6 predictions, and then since we still have 2 dupes here, we will look at the predictions afterwards. So, enter Temporal Tear. We should be all inside. It says escape pods, but that shouldn't be true. It does say we have 6 people, so it looks like some people didn't make it through. But for our story, everyone made it through. So our next prediction, again, 1,000 points in bottoms. Let's see what we got. Oh, you got bottoms that time. All right, that's 1 out of 6. Let's start the second one. Again, 30 seconds on the clock, starting now. And meanwhile, I'm going to be looking at this and seeing if we can get anything good. So we have a lot of polluted water down here, and I tried heating it up by putting cobalt down there. It's just not helping. Always bet on bottoms. With the autosave, we have another 1,000 points in bottoms. And you got bottoms. I think it's funny that it's going to every other. It's like bottoms, wallpaper, bottoms. Alright, on to the third prediction. 30 seconds starting now. We look down here, that cobalt volcano has nothing in it. This cobalt volcano has nothing in it. Which means that we would have taken and cooled all of our cobalt. Alright, next prediction is ready. Another 1,000 points in bottoms. Starting to see a pattern here. And we have parrot decorations. We don't get balloons often. This is something that a dupe requires to do. It is not a buildable item, so it does not count as a building. It could count as a piece of wallpaper, but it's more of a decoration. It's not something that I can build and tell them to choose a color. So, decorations for this one. Immediately start the fourth one. 30 seconds starting now. And we're almost ready to end it. Apparently we need to look at our skills. And the 4 people that the game says didn't make it through are all named Dupe. So Camille, Mima. Who should get the extra skills? I think it should be Camille. So our quality, yeah, we'll do Camille on that. They will get a higher morale bonus over time. Mima, put them in a rocket piloting. Because we're going to need a pilot in the future. I think that'll be it for now. We have, again, 1,000 points in bottoms. And it's a pair of tops. And again, for the 5th time. 30 seconds on the clock, starting now. We're going to see if we can get a dupe that could live with these guys. It doesn't seem like we are. We are doing radiation science. Ignore the bad noises. These look so weird now that the salt water has an animation to it and there's not a color difference. That these all look like they're just in water. Alright, next expedition is ready. Another 1,000 points in bottom. And this is another decoration. Are you guys ready for the final prediction that we're ever going to do? Is the final prediction going to be tops, bottoms, buildings, decorations, or wallpaper? You have 30 seconds to vote, starting right now. All in on bottoms, Regas? Jeez. 50,000 points in bottoms. All right, Regas, this one's for you. And you've lost it all with a drywall we already have. The mush diagonal drywall, the last blueprint we're gonna see on stream. Might actually be all. I hope not. I don't know if there is a limit to how many you can vote, but I hope there is. Anyway, that's 50 points in the bin. We should not have any more, but if we do, I'm going to start another one. Oh, no more blueprints to unlock. This is the end of the stream and the end of Oxygen Not Included. So, save the game. And since we are done with Oxygen Not Included, we're going into our final side story. you guys get to hear it now on what we're doing. I've been keeping this as a secret. It's a game that recently, about a month ago, got a brand new update. It is called Power World, also known as Pokemon with Guns. We're going to be playing Power World for a little bit. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a thing where I try to collect every single PAL, but that would be a good starting point on what we're going to do. I think maybe I will do a level cap thing, so we get to a certain level, and then that's when we finish that game. But that is the next game. We're starting it on Thursday in 2 days. And then after that, we're going into Chapter 4. And I'm going to keep that still a secret. Although there's only 2 games, and we talked about these 2 games over the course of our story already. I am not going to disclose what it is right now. We're going to keep it a secret for a little bit. I know there's been a few streams that we've gone over to who people have been playing the game that I like. That is the final game. But anyway, that is it for today's stream. We're going to quit the desktop, and then we're going to go into our raid out scene and see who we're going to raid out to today. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to catch me live, I stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays from 10 AM to 2 PM EST.